Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex Rogio, Bob Beck, Bryant Layton, with Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Oh yeah, and it's another Tuesday night. You're live with Diana Might. We've got Scott Lucky Hudson here to my left.
I'm here. I'm ready to go, Dynamite.
And we've got Bob Beck over there. Make a funny face for us, Bob. There you go.
Right on cue.
Oh, not a sad face.
And then we've got Bruce Barker back there handling all the controls. We want to welcome everybody to Speed Scene Live. You know it's Tuesday because we're here, right?
Bruce, sit up straight in that chair, will
Yeah.
you?
Oh, look at that Chevelle. That's nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Diana Might, while you talk, we're going to show some great photos from some of the cars that were out at the NMCA West Pomona race. And every single one of these cars, they're all running Speed Scene Live stickers.
Well, we want to let everybody know tonight, Joe Lapone, well, he's going to talk about Pro Mod Racing at Pomona and MCA. And he's even going to give us a little inside scoop on traction control, Lucky.
Ooh.
Artist Houston, well, he's going to give us an update on his radial tire car that he totaled, and he's actually bringing it back.
I'd love to see it when it gets back. Hey, Match Race Madness returns to Verona this summer. Every time I start talking about an upcoming race, I go, "Your Match Race Madness!"
Something happens to your voice.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Verona, it's coming out this summer, coming back, and that'll be August 23rd, so you got a lot of time to prep. Of course, there's never enough time. The DVD, by the way, there's racing video. It's rocking. It's available for purchase with cool interviews and tons of racing, as you might expect. You want to be on the next DVD that's going to be published? Well, get a hold of Steve Sherman, the Shermanator, and set up a match race.
Hey, if you'd like to get your hands on a copy, contact VW Paradise. You can pick them up there. Great DVD with interviews, round by round racing. We're going to show you some excerpts of it, and but we're not going to show you the whole thing because we want you to go out and buy it. And we'd love you to be on the next one.
So in other words, in our case, we've got the entire DVD, but we're only going to show the edge.
That's right.
We're trying to do some sort of a Larry Huffman.
That's the same place that we're living, you know, because if you're not living on the edge, Bruce, you're taking up too much space.
There you go. Nice.
Nice that.
Okay, tonight we've got a great video showing some information about Aeromotive Fuel Systems. You know, they live racing, and they have a great cool video from them explaining some of their products. We would like to say congratulations to Maverick Malloy for his runner-up and his win in his junior dragster, also sporting Speed Scene Live stickers.
Oh, sweet.
And he did really good at Irwindale. And speaking of Maverick, you know, Maverick is also a speedway racer, and tomorrow night, Speedway Bike Startup at Industry Hills Speedway. Visit their site at industryracing.com. Racing starts tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, every Wednesday night. Great food, live music, great racing, side-by-side action.
That's a nice facility, Lucky. I mean,
Beautiful
they've got
place.
great food, and you can go and you can sit down, you can watch the racing. It's all covered. Plenty of parking. You don't have to worry about parking out in Timbuktu. I mean, it's just a gorgeous facility. If you've never been there before and you're in the Southern California area, I highly recommend go down there, take your family. You'll have a great night out. Get those kids off that computer. Get them down and watch this.
It's a great family environment. There's not a bad seat in the place. There does happen to be 2 bars there also. So if you'd like to get a little
Tipsy?
cold, frosty beverage, that's available as well. Hey, speaking of cool, frosty beverages and Irwindale, Bob Beck, you are the announcer for the Irwindale track.
I am. I'm the announcer for the drag strip.
Well, what are you going to be announcing tonight or talking about tonight on Speed Scene Live?
Well, you know, as you know, last week we talked about the West Coast Customs, and I went up to the West Coast Customs show, and there were thousands of cars there, but one of the cars wasn't a custom. It was one of the early sports cars for the U.S., and it precedes the Corvette and the Thunderbird.
A sports
And you
car.
saw one in
American sports
person?
car. I saw one in person.
And we're going to hear about it tonight, huh?
We are.
Nice. Hey, this is a shot of
there we go.
Bobby Cottrell's dragster, front-engine dragster, runs 7.0s. But actually, this is an older photo because at the last NMCA, he had the black dragster. That's right. He's got a pair of dragsters.
Now, what is that? Is that like some special type of metal? Is that aluminum? What is that made out of? Or is that just polished stainless?
I think it's just aluminum body. But the other one is black. It's got that rat rod look to it.
Yeah.
And he was racing that one. So one of these days, we're going to have him explain the difference between the two.
Indeed. Hey, Bob, what is it? We've seen a couple of shots of a yellow GTO here. What is that car based on? That Australian?
It's the Australian Holden Monaro.
Holden Monaro. I can never remember
Right,
that.
and they use those for the supercar races down in Australia, which is kind of like our NASCAR, except they turn left and right all the time. On purpose.
Nice.
Holden
What kind of
Monaro?
what's the track
Monaro.
look like then? A figure eight, or is it like a road
No,
race?
it's road courses.
Oh, okay.
They
okay.
run road racing.
And
there.
what
They-
exactly are they holding on to?
Yeah,
Everything they can. Holden,
The road, evidently,
Yes.
Lucky.
Holden is Generous Motors of Australia, and they bring us now the Chevy SS. The GTO, as you know, is gone because Pontiac's gone. But they resurrected the four-door Pontiac G8, and now they call it the Chevy SS.
I did not know they were doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Holden. I know it's kind of a GM subsidiary there in the land down under.
Yes.
And they do make some fine cars. It's too bad, the GTO didn't catch on here, but it didn't look like a GTO.
Well, they could have did it
They were
better.
pretty quick, though, weren't they?
They weren't bad. It's
You know-
the one you're showing there, the Kevin Cox's car. Both he and his wife Brenda drive that car. It is downright quick. I
Yeah.
believe it's in 10 seconds.
But you know what? You need a great body style, and that's something that Lucky and I were talking about on our way into the show. We were talking about the Camaro and the Mustang, and both Ford and Chevrolet have done a great job on those two sports cars, bringing them back to the generation that we had those cars back in the 60s and 70s, and now we're looking at them again, and they kind of mimic the same body shape. It's more aerodynamic, of course, because of the standards nowadays, but they're both great looking cars, and you see a ton of them out on the roads because they're selling.
And by the way, kudos to GM. I think the current Camaro, the taillights are even more authentic.
Yeah,
They made it-
yeah.
Because at first they were round, sort of like a Corvette at the back end. Yeah, sort of.
Well, speaking of great bodies, there's a couple
Yeah.
of nice Novas right here in the booth, by the way.
Where?
And
Chevrolet, of course.
this is the booth that we set up at all the big events, and we just got done showing a bunch of cars with Speed Scene Life stickers. Stop by our booth and ask us, and we'll be happy to give you a couple of free Speed Scene Life stickers to put on your ride, and we'll take pictures and put you on the show as well. And come on by, and you can touch my rear, my Curry rear.
I thought you were going to tell them they could touch your 9-inch, Lucky.
You can come by and touch my 9-inch,
Yes.
my Curry 9-inch.
Yes, thank you.
Just want to clarify
Specify
that,
specifically.
Boy, if there's any glitches in the internet now, we're in trouble.
Yeah, the show's
that's
taking a
okay.
negative slant right now.
You know,
Oh, it's a
his-
fun slant.
Yeah, well, look at his rear end spinning on the pole.
Yes. Yes.
Boy, we could just go on and on with this, and we better not. Let's change the subject.
Well, let's change our subject. You're talking about nice bodies,
Yes.
and Donnie Couch was out at the NMCA West event at Pomona, and we had a chance to talk to Nitto Tires. And Nitto Tires is one of the sponsors and people that support the drag racing. So, Bruce, let's hear a Donnie Couch interview with Nitto Tires.
Hey, Donnie Couch on assignment. Another rough assignment for Speed Scene Live. I'm here with Sarah and Constance for Nitto Tires. Girls, are we having fun today?
Yes, definitely. Always fun.
Always fun. Southern California weather, representing Nitto Tires and giving away free swag out here.
That's right.
In beautiful Southern California weather. Have you been to the races before?
Of course, I live for it.
You live for it. What about you,
Definitely,
Constance? Yeah?
definitely. I drive a classic car myself.
You
so.
do? What kind of car do you drive?
1964 and a half Ford Mustang.
Oh, Sarah, what kind of car do you have?
I drive a 2014 Scion TC.
Wow, shaking it up here at the NMCA races. They're supporting this whole organization and having a good time, and you can come by and get some free swag from these girls. Hey, girls, thanks for being on Speed Scene Live.
Come see us.
At Aeromotive, we believe that performance means reliability, longevity, and durability. Being the best is no secret. By utilizing aerospace processes, procedures, technology, in-house engineering, true applications knowledge, and 3 generations of track experience, it's easy to see why we're the best. We take great pride in the fact that everything we sell, we design and make in the USA. See our entire line of fuel pumps and related products by logging on to aeromotiveinc.com. Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it.
60 years. That's a long time for a company to do any one thing. Doing it right while sticking to your founding values. Now that takes hard work and dedication. For 60 years, Hedman's all-American workforce has been devoted to manufacturing the very best headers any team of craftsmen can build. That's 60 years of cutting, 60 years of bending, 60 years of welding, more than 2 million in all, and every set made right here at home. At Hedman Headers, we build all-American horsepower, then back it up for life. Hedman Headers, made in the USA.
Here we go. I'm Dan Hicks, you're watching Speed Scene Live, and I just won the March Meet. Woo! Yeah.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and thefote.com.
Welcome back. If you're getting the impression that there's way more to go on this show, you are absolutely correct. I'm Bruce Barker. Thanks for joining us. There's Diana Might. There's Lucky Hudson.
The fuel tank is on full.
The full tank. And there's Hot Rod.
Soon call me.
Yeah, right. Hey, did you guys love that video of Don Couch before the commercial? Yeah. He was like, blonde, brunette, blonde, brunette. I think his head was about ready to explode, and that's why the interview was so short.
Yeah.
But those young ladies were very professional.
They were.
We're talking, they didn't talk a lot about Nitto Tires, but we appreciate Nitto Tires supporting the NMCA.
Absolutely. We appreciate all the sponsors that support NMCA, and we had a blast out there at Pomona, and we're just very thankful and fortunate to be able to race that track.
And one of the people that we are very appreciative of is Aeromotive, that helps finance our show and keep our race team going. And we've got a great YouTube video that's going to tell us a little bit about some of the Aeromotive products. Let's check that out, Bruce.
Hi, I'm Brent Clow, and I'm with Aeromotive Fuel Systems. And I'm here today to talk a little bit to you about Aeromotive, about who we are, what we do. Basically, we are a fuel pump manufacturer, but we're really a lot more than that. We make fuel pumps, we make pressure regulators, we make fuel filters, and we engineer these components for many applications, from carbureted to fuel-injected engines, old muscle cars to modern EFI performance. We've been in business since 1994. We're a 17-year-old company, and we have grown tremendously in this last 17 years. We started out, Steve Matuzik, the owner of the company, was an aerospace engineer. He actually began in racing when he was a young boy. His father raced, and he raced with his dad and with his brother. And like most of us that are in this business, we're involved because of the passion for racing and the passion for performance. When Steve got his college degree in aerospace engineering, it was a smart thing, and he wanted to be an aerospace engineer, and he did that. At the same time, in the back of his mind, like many of us, he wanted to be in this industry full-time. He wanted to actually take what he knew and his knowledge and education and apply it to automotive performance. And that's where Aeromotive comes from, aerospace technology and automotive performance. When Steve started, we started with a fuel pump form factor like this. This is our Aeromotive Eliminator fuel pump. The A1000, the Eliminator, and our Pro Series pump are all in the same basic form factor, where you have a inline pump. The fuel comes in one end, through the pumping mechanism, through the electric motor, and out the other end. Electric motor runs wet. These are fuel pumps which internally are submersed and which can actually externally be submersed. In other words, this pump could be in the tank if you like. Which kind of leads me to new technology at Aeromotive. For many years, people have taken our pumps and put them in the tank in one form or another. But Aeromotive has really not done what we call a dedicated in-tank fuel pump until we introduced our new Stealth product line. The Stealth series fuel pumps are available in a generic format where a person can actually take a fuel pump, top load it into a fuel cell, set it in, configure a certain length pickup and draw from the bottom of that cell. We offer our Stealth series fuel cells, which have this already done. We have the generic pump and pickup arrangement for guys who want to build their own. This has kind of led us to the opportunity with late model muscle cars, and we're talking now about vehicles that are generally built after 2003, 2004. These vehicles have large openings in the top of the tank. They have very sophisticated what's called returnless fuel systems from the factory. These systems are capable of supporting just the amount of power that the engine makes stock. The guy that wants to modify that Corvette or that Mustang or that Camaro or that Mopar muscle car, the new ones, the ones that are really fast to begin with, well, they're really out of options. And what Aeromotive has done is actually taken our A1000 Unlimited pumps and put them in a form factor where they will load into the stock tank. In the process, we actually deploy connections for the stock transfer pumps or siphon jets. We allow the stock fuel level sending unit to be mounted. And essentially, it's a pretty simple thing where you can drop this pump in the tank and you don't have to modify the tank, you don't have to sump the tank, you don't have to do anything, make a fabricated pickup tube. Everything sits inside. The A1000 fuel pump is currently capable of supporting up to 1,000 flywheel horsepower EFI forced induction, up to 12 or 1,300 horsepower carbureted forced induction. The Eliminator fuel pump in this same form factor will go to about 1,400 flywheel horsepower. The Pro Series fuel pump will go to about 1,700. So essentially we've got a stepping stone, if you will, or a stair step of fuel delivery now, with the 340 pump capable of up to 600 or 700 horsepower, then picking up with the A1000 from 700 to 1,000 horsepower, and then the Eliminator up to 1,300, and then the Pro Series pump up to 1,600 or 1,700. So we've actually created in the Stealth product line a really nice progression of fuel delivery options for people as they build their car to go faster and faster and make more and more power. Going further, Aeromotive has been able to develop recently and introduce what we'll call an in-tank pump in the truest sense, a pump that actually goes in the stock location. It's called our Stealth 340. A common performance in-tank pump upgrade would commonly be a 255 liter per hour fuel pump. Aeromotive has taken that same performance envelope, that same form factor, and built a fuel pump that fits in that location that flows 340 liters per hour at the same pressure. So now there's going to be new pumps available for many hundreds of stock applications where individuals are going to be making upwards of 500, 600, 700 horsepower and are going to be able to use an Aeromotive pump in the tank and won't necessarily have to make drastic changes to their car. Of course, when they go to that 750 or 800 horsepower package or beyond, we will have the senior Stealth products, the A1000, the Eliminator pumps that go on those tanks, and we'll let them take it to the next level. One of the things that's really exciting about Aeromotive is that we're not just a fuel pump manufacturer, we're really a fuel system manufacturer, a company that makes systems. And I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to make a fuel system, and that's really a fuel pressure regulator. Aeromotive has a lot of different regulators. In fact, maybe it's one of the areas that's a little bit confusing for the first exposure to our company. How come you have so many different regulators? It has to do with the fact that we understand that a regulator has to be really engineered to control a fuel pump, to control that pump's flow, and to manage the pressure range that we're trying to manage. So Aeromotive offers a regulator in both a bypass and, if you will, in a deadhead or a blocking style for all of our different fuel pumps, for carbureted and fuel injected applications. And when you pick the right pump and you follow that by going to our catalog, to our power planner, selecting the right componentry that's advised there, the regulator and the filters and the line sizes, what you have is a fuel system that will really work.
I'm trying to remember, Lucky. I think a few weeks ago, did you have, was it called the Phantom?
The Phantom, yeah, in tank mounted pump, which is really popular. They sell a ton of them, and SEMA even gave them an award for a product of the year type deal.
Yeah, well, it looked worthy. Man, that thing was solid and gorgeous.
Right, the quality's great.
Yeah.
I've had a ton of people talk to me out at events. They want to know more about it. They say, I got this muscle car. I don't want to put in a fuel cell. I don't want to have a pump hanging down. I want to just hide it, but I want a killer fuel pump. Can you do that? And I go, here it is. Here's your answer. And they're, wow.
Yeah, and it's got to be quieter than hanging one of those hang-on pumps on the frame that just vibrates everything to death.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll admit once in a while, I go, gee, is my fuel pump on? My engine just stalled. And you go, yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one. I have not figured this out yet. Won't name the brand because I hate to, I haven't troubleshot as to whether or not it's those guys or not. But to bang on the darn thing once in a while to get it spinning.
On your fuel pump?
Yeah, it's almost new, and once in a while it just will not fire up.
It's been kick-started.
Yeah, and that's annoying. Yes,
yeah.
Kick-started. Exactly. All right, back to the show.
Well, let's get into great American auto scene with Hot Rod Bob Beck. Bob, you gave us this great teaser. You talked about seeing this car.
Yes.
And we want to know, what the heck are you talking about? Was it too much sun? Not enough water? A shot or two of Fireball too many? What are you talking about?
Oh, I was drinking my Pepsi without ice. I was really getting really radical this last weekend. Well, hey, everybody, I'm Bob Beck, and you've got gas here on Speed Scene Live. While I was at a car show, I got to see one of a very few and a rare sports car. Now, most people think of American sports cars as the Corvette and the early 2C T-Bird, but there were two sports cars from two different companies that beat the Corvette and the Thunderbird.
Ooh, swoopy.
And here is the first one. This is the Kaiser Darren. Now, Darren was a designer. He worked for General Motors, Chrysler, and anyone else who would pay him. And he did custom cars as well. He worked for Kaiser and came up with this sports car. This is the first production sports car with a fiberglass body. Now, another thing that was unique about this car is, you know how you open your car doors and you bang the thing next to you? Yeah, you couldn't do that with this. The front door slid into the front fender.
I've seen that before.
Wow, I love
I've
that.
seen that before. That is so cool.
Yeah. Now, this car was based on the Kaiser Henry J chassis. And at first, they used the Henry J 6-cylinder engine with all of 90 horsepower. Now, Willys, Henry J, Kaiser Fraser merged with Nash. They put the Nash engine in it, added two side draft carburetors, and now it had 130 horsepower, and it was a lot peppier. 2,700 pounds. It had a good horsepower to weight ratio. Now you can see this green one. There were only about 4 or 5 colors available the first year. As you see, the doors slid in. It's out of the way.
That. Yeah, and boy, the top construction is. We'll see another shot of that, I'm sure. Hey, what? There's a Cadillac valve cover there.
It's reminiscent. That front fender's reminiscent of a T-Bird, though.
Well, it started out before the T-Bird. This was 1954 when this car came out. Or 52.
Maybe the T-Bird ripped them off.
Now, well, we're not saying that.
You never know. Now, Bruce, you were talking about the Cadillac engine we showed inside there. Through the Kaiser dealers, they only sold a few hundred of these. Kaiser was in financial straits at that point. People were afraid to an extent of buying a car from a company that may go under.
Sure.
Darren found about 100 of them incomplete under the snow at the factory.
Kidding?
No, and then he bought 50 of them that they couldn't sell, and he worked for a dealership in Hollywood. He bought them and started putting them together and selling them himself. Sold them through 1957, but pumped up the horsepower by putting Cadillac V8s in them.
Well, yeah.
So there were about 100 of them that were built with Caddy V8s right from the factory. And the factory at that point was him. He had a little shop in Santa Monica that he was putting them together with.
That is amazing. And I believe now Darren would be Dutch Darren, who's famous for having the cut-down door style that we saw.
Exactly, and that was perceived on this. He also put that on the full-size Kaiser models back in the day, and there were a lot of different things. This car had a split windshield in the original design. The Kaiser design team changed things for production and put a curved windshield in it. It also had a split trunk that never made it to production. And Kaiser, Darren was a little pissed off about that, but his car got to production.
Car really is just got a classy look to it.
Oh yeah, it was great styling and even good looking today. These are selling for in the hundreds of thousands of dollars now if you can find one. There were 200 or 300 of these things produced. I got to look at my numbers here, but there weren't that many. And like I said, the last 100. Caddy motors in them. And they were built through 1957.
Whoa, now it changed.
Now we got to change.
What happened there?
Nash had a sports car. Pininfarina did the styling, and Donald Healey, better known for the Healeys and the Healey sports cars, put them together. They used the Nash 6-cylinder engine, but with an aluminum cylinder head. And this was no just looking sport, just a good looking sports car for the time. Remember, this is 1954. These cars won Le Mans.
So they're competing against Jaguars and TR3s and
Ferraris.
Holy cow.
They beat the Ferraris. Now, this is the Le Mans Coupe, one of the last of the styling, and you can tell an early style car from a late. The grille's only got a couple of bars with the Nash logo. Here's number 1.
Oh, man.
This was the first car, and it was just sold at auction a short time ago down in Houston for $500,000.
Now, see, I'm sort of
see the grill.
That grill and those headlights, that's a way better treatment than the previous photos.
Well, the other ones, too, were the Coupe was a little bit different. But the Roadsters all look the same, a little bit different grill later on. Here's the Coupe. This is just like the one that I saw at the West Coast Customs this last weekend. Beautiful car. Pininfarina, the Italian designer that does Ferraris and Fiats, did it. Here's the engine. Dual British side draft SU carburetors.
Just like a Triumph, little 4-cylinder, huh?
Now
a 5-cylinder?
No, 6.
6, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now here's a side view of one of the early cars for an advertising picture.
Looks prettier with a girl in front of it.
It always does.
Yeah. And I got to admit, I like the early version with the headlights mounted on the fenders. The thing where they're inside the grill, it just kind of looks... It's Nash-like,
It's Nash-like, yeah.
But that's not a good thing.
No, here's one of the race cars that I believe ran at Le Mans. And like I said, they came in number 1, beat the Ferraris, beat the Maseratis, beat all the high-dollar sports cars.
How about it?
Wire wheels, they were beautiful machines. Aluminum body.
Ooh, no rust.
Only 100 of these produced, and they are drawing some big bucks. Here's another early car. You can see by the grill.
What do you know?
They were just an amazing car. They beat Ford. They beat Chevrolet to the market with sports cars. 2 of the small, little manufacturers, Nash and Kaiser.
And it's interesting that neither body was steel.
No. Yeah, Kaiser did theirs in fiberglass, so most every one of them is still around because they didn't have a rust issue. The Nash Healeys, there's not too much records on how many are still around. There's not too many records about how many were even built because Nash didn't keep very good records. This particular car is the Le Mans Coupe.
Yeah, there's some sort of crazy steering gear at the bottom of this one.
It looks like sway bars and stuff that were added to it because this car vintage races today.
Huh.
So people still run them. The difference between the production Nash and this, as far as the engine goes, was the sports cars all had aluminum cylinder heads, something the production cars, other than the sports cars, didn't get. Now, a lot of the cars came with, if you find them now, they'll have a cast iron head because finding the aluminum head, that's almost impossible when you only built 100 cars to start with.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird, the Kaiser Darren that we're looking at again here now, that the front of that thing, that grill is just weird, man.
Can you get like a closer view of that red one? Go down?
It is different, but I still like it. It's just, it's so wacky weird that it looks good.
It looks like it's going...
And of course, it looks best in red.
Well, they called that pursed lips.
Oh, that was
like
pursed lips.
Trying to kiss you. But for me, when I started reading comic books, that looks like the Batmobile to me.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, the early one of the generations of Batmobiles from the 50s, 60s that was in the comic books.
You're right. I think before the TV show, the Batmobile looked different. It looked maybe more like this.
Well, yeah, the Batmobile from the TV show was a Lincoln that Barris painted black.
Yeah, you're right.
But, I mean, this was a true sports car, 6-cylinder. Now, everyone chastised Chevrolet for bringing out the Corvette with the 6-cylinder, but the competition was the Kaiser Darren and the Nash Healey. They both had 6-cylinders. They were right in the realm of it, but Ford's one-upped them and went to the V8s. Darren, when he got hold of production and had the cars himself, he also dumped the Nash motor and went to a V8, made them capable of 140 miles an hour. And Briggs Cunningham, who was a known racer at the time and also had a sports car built by Healy to race, his wife raced one of the Nash Healys with the Cadillac motor and was one of the West Coast top drivers.
What do you know?
Amazing.
So sports cars, it's not something new. It's not limited to the Corvette and the Thunderbird. There were other two-seaters available. They were by the independents, and they were still dynamite cars.
What do you know?
Well,
if you
it's
can afford them.
Great segment, Bob. And you know what? I'm going to be looking for those cars. One of these days, I'll see one, I'll look at it, and I'll say, Bob Beck taught me about this car. Excuse me, sir. Do you happen to have the aluminum cylinder head or the cast iron? Oh.
I just walk up and say, "Pardon me, do you have any gray poop on you?"
I thought that's where Lucky was going with the gray spot.
I took it one step more abstract. That's just me. That's just me. Hey, we're going to take a commercial break, but before we do, Donnie Couch ran into Artis Houston, and Artis was talking about what happened to his race car and how the progress is, and I hope the audio's good because it was a real noisy location. Let's talk to Artis Houston.
Hey, Donnie Couch for Speed Scene Live. We're here at NMCA West in Pomona, California. We run across one of our fan favorites, Mr. Artis Houston. Artis, we know you crashed your car last year. Yeah. It's still in the rebuild mode, and how's that project coming?
It's coming good, Donnie. It was over at D's Performance. He took care of a lot of the chassis work that needed to be done. I mean, it bent up all kind of parts and broke stuff, so we had to cut some bars out, weld some bars back in, and it's over at Northwest Auto Body and Collision now in Hollywood. And Jack Avestian, he's actually getting everything taken care of. So I'd like to say we'll be together by the end of the year sometime. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Well, we hope so. We miss you out here. It's, you don't make a very good spectator walking around. You look like a tourist out here.
I think the reason you probably saw me so quick was because I probably looked so sad. You probably felt like you needed to show me to the lost and found or something like that. But I kind of feel that way right now, man. I miss it. I started a new job. I work with Snap-on Tools now, so that's keeping me busy. It keeps me occupied. It's also helping me, get my money back together so I can get the car back together as well. So a lot of good things happening. And the funny thing about it, with the car being crashed, we found some other stuff that needed some attention. So at the end of the day, good things happen, or things happen for different reasons. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing it that way and being positive about the whole situation.
Well, that's one of my favorite cars out here in Artis. We wish you a speedy comeback with that car, and hopefully before the end of the year this time. And thanks for being on Speed Scene Live.
Donnie, my pleasure. Every time I get a chance to get with guys like you and Scott, man, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Hey, he's Artis Houston. I'm Donnie Couch, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
I'm Scott Lucky Hudson, and you're Diana Might, and Bruce is watching Speed Scene Live.
Yeah. I am, too.
Yes. Hey, we just made a little adjustment on the volume, so if the volume was a little low, it's not you, it was us, and I think we might have got it all under control.
Yeah, or just lit a bomb fuse underneath it, and magically everything's working now, so it said, there's something, I better fix myself.
Yeah, we want to send the special thanks out to Dar for letting us know and bringing that to our attention.
Now, speaking of Dar will be live in studio next week doing a preview for the NHRA Heritage Race. That's going to be at Salt Lake Rocky Mountain Raceway. So there ought to be a lot of fun listening to a bunch of previews and some information about the upcoming Nostalgia Race. Meanwhile, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Joe Lapone because Joe was driving that badass Pro Mod, and he's going to talk about it.
Nice. Speed Scene Live. We'll be back.
For over half a century, Currie rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Currie gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Currie expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Currie's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Currie Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts like correct link steering systems keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Currie rear end.
Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com.
Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You've paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guys ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you, slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online. Mention the Speed Scene and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
I'm Tom Mongoose McEwen, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and thefote.com.
Welcome back to the show, Speed Scene Live. My name is Lucky. I've got Diana Might over here. I've got Hot Rod Bob Beck. I got Bruce Barker. You are watching Speed Scene Live, the fastest show on the net. I want to mention my favorite magazine, Drag Illustrated Magazine. If you get a chance, pick this up.
Why is that your favorite magazine, Lucky?
Because each and every month I do the Curry Sportsman Spotlight. That's right. I don't talk about the pros. I don't talk about all the big names. I talk about all of us sportsman racers. You know why? Because that's who I am. Oh. That's right. I talk about what I know. But
can't go wrong that way.
Tonight, I love the fast cars. I love the fast pro mods. They're my favorite car to watch. I would love to drive one, but I don't. But this guy does. Joe Lapone. He's probably one of the most talented tuners and drivers in the world, and he came out to compete at the NMCA West Pomona, and check it out. He always runs a Speed Scene Live sticker on the hood.
Nice. Well, as we know, that can often gain you a 10th.
That's right. So we're going to talk to him. We're going to find out a little bit about his weekend. This is a little early in the weekend. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, Donnie Couch for Speed Scene Live. We're here with Joe Lapone. Joe, you had trouble yesterday in qualifying with the transmission. You got by one first round. Looks like transmission troubles. Are they fixed?
Yeah, transmission troubles are definitely fixed. It was a little shifter at a ground impulse, and it shifted at 5,300. And our nitrous runs off a second gear, so at 6/10 the engine had 2,800 horsepower. And the clutch and the track didn't want any part of it, and it shook, and we shut off. And last night we put another clutch in it, and just did a basic soft setup for the first round today. Joe Rubicek's really good, consistent car, and we weren't going to shoot ourselves in the foot. And they went out there when 404 to the eighth, which means it would run 603, 604, and the clutch was slipping. So I went in a high gear. I mean, it wasn't anywhere near me, so I just clutched and we coasted through and went a 17 at 210. So we're in good shape. We're all happy, went the right direction, and I'm at my favorite racetrack with my favorite interviewer, and my buddy Lucky over there with Speed Scene Live. I mean, it's the best. Couldn't do any better.
Well, we like to think you got those Speed Scene Live decals on your hood that we bring you good luck. But hey, you're going to go up against Andrew Barry out there. He's just been running 615 every run. He's pretty consistent, so you're pretty confident with your tune-up now and the transmission being fixed that we can.
Yeah, well, I think we got a really good chance. He's using traction control, which was a very vague area because they didn't say we could. They said we couldn't, and I guess this race they said we could. Now after, because I went to Dave and I said, we're going to run traction control or not. And he said, yeah. So next race we'll have traction control too. But I mean, that's where the consistency come from. Nothing against him. He's got Proline power with Steve Petty, one of the greatest turbo engine power plants in the country. And so it'll be a good race. We're looking forward to it.
All right, he's Joe Lapone. He's going into the second round. I'm Donnie Couch. You're watching Speed Scene Live.
And my wife, I want to say hello to my wonderful wife, Cynthia.
Oh, I'd like to say hello to her too, but he's bigger than I am, and we go way back, so we're just going to keep it to the racing today.
And one of these days I'll be on the other side because Donnie's getting ready to retire, and I want to smoke cigars, eat at great restaurants, and talk to famous people too.
All right, Joe, good luck to you, my friend.
For everything.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
He summed up Donnie Couch's life perfectly.
Smoking guitars and enjoying life. You know what? Everybody wants to be a talk show host. They want to do what Donnie's doing for us out there. It's a blast, right, Lucky? And
well,
we
it's
want
a
to
lot
send
of hard work.
we want to send a special thanks out to Joe Lapone. Great racer, great interview, and just a great overall guy.
Now, Diana Might, he mentioned traction control, and I want to be perfectly clear that traction control is perfectly legal. And
now, what is it exactly, Lucky?
Well, I'm not going to get into all the details because I'll say it wrong and I'll look stupid.
Does it help so you don't get that slippage or something?
What it does is it pulls out power if you start to spin the wheels so that you don't spin the wheels, which you can't go fast if you spin the wheels.
It is okay in that class,
it's
right?
It's absolutely legal.
All right.
Everybody but Joe Lapone, it turns out, happens to be using traction control.
Well, I bet you Joe Lapone is going to be doing it at the next race, most definitely.
Which is what he said. He said,
the interesting thing, wasn't he the champion last year? So he did it without the traction control last year. Just imagine what he's going to do this year once he gets it.
Well, drag racing's a fickle sport. You're on top one year, you're down the other, and so you never know. And sometimes people get a little bug in their car and they never seem to recuperate from that. But I just want to make sure that, every competitor out there that uses traction control, they are not breaking the law. All the competitors, especially the ones that he mentioned, went through tech. The tech guy knows they have traction control, passed the car. Everything was perfectly legal. Nobody is implying that there was any cheating, and nobody is assuming.
Being so politically correct. Yeah. You know what? It's just one of those little oversights that Joe didn't realize was okay, and now he does, so he'll have it next time, and that's exactly what he said.
That's right. Now, going to the other spectrum, we had a gentleman by the name of Bill Wyden that's a big supporter of the show. And Joe, or I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Joe Lapone. Bill Wyden is a lung transplant recipient. Wow. And what he does is he goes around to sort of get people aware of what's happening with transplants. It's not just organs. There's also skin and bone and ligaments, eyes. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that people benefit. And he benefited because he had a bad lung, and then he got an additional 10 years of life because of this transplant. And so now he dedicates his life to going around and raising awareness. And we had an opportunity to not only talk to Bill at NMCA, but we had a chance, Diana Might and myself were honored to be able to sign the car. We put our signatures on his car, and as you'll see, for his sponsors, Signatures Across America, he's sponsored by Sharpie, and he's out promoting them, and he's also got other sponsors. But let's listen to a short interview with Bill tonight, and then I'm going to bring Bill in on the show about a month from now. We're going to talk to him in person.
Great.
Cool. Let's take a look.
Hey, Donnie Couch for Speed Scene Live. We're here at the NMCA West. Run across a very special gentleman, Bill Wyden. Bill, your car, Donate Life. What's this all about?
It's about giving back and teaching the public about organ and tissue donation and that, and the need for how many people are on the waiting list. You know, in this country is over 120,000. 80% of those people are kidney transplant recipients or needing a kidney transplant. Myself, I'm a lung transplant recipient, 11 years now. We do this project as a way of giving back for the life-saving transplant that I received. We tour around the country with the car and go to hospitals and just promote organ and tissue donation.
Hey, Bill, we see a lot of signatures on the hood, and it looks like it's filling up there. What's the program here?
It's basically, on our 10th anniversary, we took the car to USC Hospital, and to celebrate our 10th transplant anniversary with them, we let the doctors and medical staff have at it. But when we go to events, we go ahead and donor families will sign the car, or recipients, and like when we're at the Donate Life Run Walk at Cal State Fullerton every year. And people that promote organ and tissue donation, we just let them enjoy some time with it, to learn about it, and just let them sign the hood and promoting organ and tissue donation. So,
well, such a great effort, and actually he's a recipient of an organ, which pretty special there. So you really understand the cause. But how can people out there, some of our viewers, find your cause? Is there a website or?
Yeah, you can go to donorracing.com or signaturesacrossamerica.org. You'll find the website there. You'll also find a logo on there for Donate Life. You can actually click there and go online to sign up to be organ and tissue donors if you want to do it that way. It's the same as the dot on your driver's license. DMV sends the information to the National Registry. So you can also go online and register. That way you can print it out, and if you wanted to change something later on, you can go ahead and do so.
Hey, well, Bill, this is such a great cause. You think one time you can come in the studio, we can talk further on this and help you promote Donate Life for us?
Yeah, we'd be really happy to. It'd be great to be able to come in and talk about this car. This car actually came from a donor family out of Memphis, Tennessee. Donna Clark donated the car to the project. Johnny McPeak was world footbrake champion in 1988, and he passed away in 2005. He was very adamant about being an organ and tissue donor. His wife before that passed away waiting for a heart transplant. So there's a lot of history behind this car. This car sat for 5 years on blocks. So we basically took the car and gave it a second chance at life too. So, and that's why we use this car. It's so important.
Hey, great stories for a great cause. He's Bill Wyden. I'm Donnie Couch. You're watching Speed Scene Live.
Here's the car with all the signatures, and he did something different this year. He brought out the brand new gold Sharpie to match the gold, the Aztec gold paint, and right there underneath the Brodix sticker, you'll see where Diana Might and myself got a chance to write a little note, and we basically said, way to go, Bill, you're doing a great job, donate a life, Signatures Across America. And, you know, he's such a great guy. He used to have a, I don't know what you call it, a mini funny car, which was a funny car with a motorcycle motor.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was all covered with signatures. And now he's got this Nova, and what he's doing is such a great thing. And
he's kind of bringing awareness, Lucky, which is really important. A lot of people don't realize how important it is to be an organ donor. And, you know, it's just that little box on your driver's license that you can mark, and you could save someone's lives. You know, you could save someone's child's life. It's really important.
The interesting inside story on Bill, which is, I don't know, it's a little hard to talk about. He says a lung transplant is good for approximately 7 years. Is the normal lifespan. He said he's had his for 10, so it's due to fail any time.
Yeah.
And I said, so are you on a list to get another one? He said, no, I got 10 years that I wouldn't have had, and I appreciate that, and I'm so blessed to have had those 10 years. I don't want to steal those years from somebody else out there. If there's a lung available, I want them to go to somebody else and give them the gift of 10 years.
Wow.
So, you know,
that's very selfless.
It's
you know,
selfless.
He's not thinking about himself. He's appreciative for the time that he got, which he wouldn't have had, and now he wants someone else to have that opportunity as well, which is great.
It's just amazing. It's amazing to me. Hey, we at the top of the show, Bruce talked about Match Race Madness, and it's coming up. That's right, it's coming up. What is it? The 23rd of August, I believe. And this is a great deal. It's down at Verona, August 23rd, under the lights at night at Verona.
Just so great to see the racing at nighttime. We don't get that a lot at the tracks out here in California.
And so, such great cars, such great racing. And basically the concept is he finds two cars, they run the same ET, he pairs them up. 2 out of 3, heads up, winner take all, and he gets about a dozen pairs or 20 pairs like that, and it's amazing.
And of course, you have done it.
I've done it. I was one of the pairs. It'll be coming up in a little bit. I raced a wonderful racer by the name of Diane and her Nova. Her and her husband Jimmy are a great couple, fantastic people, and Jimmy has his Vega down there. Here I am right there.
Yeah.
And really a great program. If
Diane, you should have squeezed it.
Hey. You know, she had the opportunity to put the bottle in and kick my ass.
She was a good sportsman. Come on.
She was very good. Her and her husband, great people. If you get the opportunity to be one of those racers, go down to Match Race Madness. Contact Joe Sherman. Become one of the racers. If you're not interested in racing, head on down. It's a great show. They also have a bunch of other racing in addition to that, and they have all kinds of stuff going on. It's a fun show. You'll have a great time. You'll get to cheer on the people that you like the best, and I'm telling you, it is a blast. As somebody that's gone down and done it, I highly recommend it. You got to be part of it. And also, hey, you want to be part of the DVD? You get this beautiful DVD. You can pick it up at VW Paradise. You can buy one. You could be on the next DVD.
Well,
How
and
cool
by the
is
way, what we just saw was just a tiny bit of that same DVD, so you can see the production value is really high, and your car could be there, man.
That's right. That's just a teaser. Now, in an upcoming show, we start gearing up for the next race. We're going to go ahead and show more of racing off that. We're going to show me and Diane. We're going to show the battle. Yeah. And, you know, it's really nice because they put the picture of the driver and the name and the reaction time and the ET. They do the whole deal.
Didn't you have a really good reaction time, Lucky?
I was very, very lucky down there. You know, the track hooks so good at Verona. It's such a great hooking track.
What was that reaction time? Do you remember?
You know, it was pretty good.
Was it
pretty
like
good.
something?
Yeah, it was something like that, you know. But it was a good reaction time, very good for me, and great hooking track, great hook track prep. And great video, and there's all kinds of interviews and stuff. And so we're going to show you some snippets. We're not going to show you the whole thing, because if you want to see the whole thing,
you got to buy it.
You got to buy it. VW Paradise. Hey, we've got it. There you go. Bruce has got it right there. Great. Bruce, what's the name of I should have that name in front of me. There's a production company.
Yeah, that would be Motor Peak. P-E-E-K, as in take a peek at it.
That's right. Motor Peak. And Motor Peak does a lot of off-road, a lot of racing in Mexico, dirt bikes, all kinds of racing, and now they're doing drag racing. So we want to welcome Motor Peak and welcome them to the world of drag racing. You know, Dynamite, do you think we should do some what's going on? Because
I think we should, Lucky.
We've been running out of time so much.
We have been, and it's almost the top of the hour. Bob, where are you going to be at next? You know,
this Thursday night, I'm going to be at Irwindale as usual. We're doing our street drags every Thursday night, and then Saturday back to Irwindale because it's oval track action as the racing returns twice a month to Irwindale Speedway.
Okay, great. Bruce, where's that special little music I like to hear so much?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And we want to let everybody know that What's Going On is brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, and Aeromotive.
That's right. And then also we would like to thank LAT Racing Oil. M&H tires. I mean, come on. Look at I beat those M&H tires to death, and those things hook all over.
Take a licking and keep on kicking.
I mean, I was the only guy out there at the Match Race Madness running 10.5 tires. Everyone else had big, giant tires. And I was hooking, baby.
Well,
hooking.
May 31st, there's going to be the May 31st through June 1st, Richmond Dragway Challenge Series.
That's right. May 31st, Union County Dragway. They've got a points race.
And June 14th, Rocky Mountain Superchargers at Douglas, Wyoming for the season opener.
You know, the Rocky Mountain Superchargers were one of the groups that put on a bunch of exhibition races at last year's Speed Scene Live Nationals, and I don't know if they're going to be there again this time, but they really put on a great show.
Wow, we want to send a special thanks out to them. I know that's a long haul for them. June 7th, US 43 Dragway Big Bucks Shootout.
Union County Dragway points race, that's going to be June 7th, and then they're going to do it again on June 14th.
And then, Lucky, you're headed out for the Speed Scene Live Nationals once again at Great Bend on June 7th.
Oh, what a great race. Big money, 3 days of racing. Show up on Friday, run a gambler, a test and tune. Saturday, the Speed Scene Live Nationals, and Sunday they run a team race. 3 days of racing for one tow fuel bill.
Wow, you can't beat that. And at the price of gas these days, you know, it pays to be able to go somewhere where you can race 3 days in a row. Right, Lucky?
Oh, that's a great deal.
June 11th through the 14th. NHRA Hot Rod Reunion. That's going to be at Bowling Green, Kentucky. Lucky, you're going to be there, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to have the booth out there. Come on by and see all the great products from Curry rear ends, Hedman Hustler headers, as well as Transdap hamburger pans, plus a bunch of Aeromotive fuel system products on display.
And you've got all those products where they can like pick them up and look at them. Right,
pick them up, touch my rear, touch my 9-inch. You
I
can
was
do
talking
it
about
all.
the Aeromotive. They're a little bit smaller. You can actually pick those up. You know, the man out there that's picking up a rear end, I'd like to meet him.
Or you can play with his pump.
Well, and don't forget, this is your opportunity to stop by, get a free Speed Scene Live sticker, stick it on your ride, tell me where your car is. I'll head on over, I'll take a picture, and I'll put it up on the show. Nice. Hey, E-Town Raceway, this is up in Englishtown, New Jersey. E-Town Raceway Park has the second annual Slick Tire Shootout, June 14th through the 15th. They've got, wait. There's more.
More.
And more.
More.
But wait, there's more. Outlaw 10.5 tires. They got Big Tire Outlaw, and they have an 850 index for all the East Coast hitters.
Wow.
And June 19th, the EFI Live Power Tour in Muncie, Indiana.
Oh, man. Don't you love that in Indiana racing?
And then back to Indiana. How about the June 20th and 21st? Hazley Machine Thunder. That's going to be in Muncie.
Man, great racing out there. July 11th through the 13th. The 10 Tuck at Bowling Green.
July 19th, East Coast Diesel Nationals.
Wow.
Get your smoking ready because at Numidia Dragway in Pennsylvania, they're going to be burning some kerosene.
Don't you love it when all that black smoke pours out all the way down the track?
Well, you talk to Gale Banks about that, and he says every bit of smoke you see is wasted horsepower.
He just wants clean, clear smoke.
Is that what he wants?
Yeah.
Richmond Dragway. Well, they're going to have a $10,000 Grand Slam. That's going to be July 26th through the 27th.
I always get that Grand Slam at Denny's. Is that the same thing, Diana?
I don't think so, Lucky. You can't eat this Grand Slam, but you can buy lots of stuff with it.
I can get a lot of pancakes with $10,000.
Show me the money.
That's a lot of fresh and fruity Rudy Tooty.
Oh.
Only you, Bruce.
Who are you calling fresh and fruity?
US 43 Dragway. They got a big buck shootout July 26.
PTRA Small Block Nitrous Nationals at Mooresville Dragway, July 26. You know, I've always wondered, you watch these guys purging the nitrous out the front of the car. It was out in the air. Run that tube to the driver and make them happy.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Can you?
August 2nd, it's going to be the West Coast Diesel Shootout up in Spokane, Washington. Get some of those log trucks up there.
Yeah.
Show them how it's done, cowboy.
Nice. And Peterbilt's and KW.
Get me a lumberjack, baby.
And don't forget, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and every Wednesday now that the season started, Industry Hills Speedway at the beautiful, beautiful Industry Hills Center or facility.
There you go.
Go to industryracing.com for more info. Racing starts at 7. You can show up at 6, get some food, hit the bar, listen to some music. A lot of times they have cool cars on display, antique race cars, speedway cars.
You'll probably see see Donnie
off-road
Couch
cars.
there.
Donnie's
He loves
gonna
that
be
stuff,
there.
doesn't
I'm
he?
sure he'll be there.
Dar and Donnie will be
Bet-
wandering around
wonder
with
where
camera.
we'll find Donnie.
Maybe by the Nitto Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like a adult version of Where's Waldo.
Where's Waldo? Where's Donnie?
Maybe there'll be a Kaiser Darren there.
There he could
or a
be.
Nash
Yeah.
Heaney Roadster.
Well,
yeah.
you know, who's the guy that we used to be on that reality show where they're buying up stuff in the storage units?
Barry will be
Barry
there.
Weiss.
Yeah, Barry Weiss.
Yeah. He always comes out with something different.
That's right. You know, we've actually interviewed him there before. Donnie's ran into Barry there. He comes out and watches. Brett Wagner, big swag. He likes to hang out there.
Yep.
The funnest night, is that a word, funnest? Is when they do a Harley race during the halftime
Oh,
show.
that's a hoot.
With street
a
Harleys.
total
Yeah,
hoot.
20 guys on Harleys on a dirt oval.
And half of them fall down. I mean, I just can't believe these big, beautiful bikes, and they're in the dirt.
Man. Well, next week, there's going to be Dar and Donnie. They're going to be doing nostalgia racing. After that, Hot Rod Bob Beck.
Yes.
He's going to take over the show. He's going to shine like the star he is.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, Alex, the car girl. You know, she's doing
Yes.
really good in points right now, isn't she, Bob?
Number 1 in her
Wow.
category and number 3 in the top bracket.
How
she took
about
out the 2 guys that were catching her. They were 10 points behind her. She took them out in successive rounds. She's been doing good with that big Magnum wagon.
Nice. Well, she's going to be live in studio, so tune in for that. Me, I'm heading east. That's right. I'm heading on the road. So come on out to a track near you and see me, and come on by. I'll turn you on to some free stickers.
Nice. Go East, young man. Hey, coming up next, the encore presentation of tonight's show. Thanks so much for joining us. And we're going to do this again a week from tonight right here at Speed Scene Live.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear End, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and theFote.com.